CJI page 9. Whereas the Indian Independence Act 1947 provides that as it's obvious, 15th August was independence. He did not immediately accede. All the other Maharajas acceded apart from those two, Junagadh and Hyderabad. He never wanted to. It's only in October that this happened. Whereas the Indian Independence Act 1947 provides that as from the 15th day of August 1947, there shall be set up an independent dominion known as India, and that the Government of India Act 1935 shall, with such omissions, additions, adaptations, and modifications as the Governor General may by order specify, be applicable to the Dominion of India. And whereas the Government of India Act 1935, as so adopted by the Governor General, provides that an Indian state may accede to the Dominion of India by an instrument of accession executed by the ruler thereof. Now, therefore, I, Shriman Inder Mahendra Rajeshwar Maharaj Viraj Sri Hari Singh Ji, Jammu and Kashmir Naresh, Tatha Tibet and Deshadipati, ruler of Jammu and Kashmir state, in the exercise of my sovereignty in and over my said state, do hereby execute this instrument. I hereby declare that I accede to the Dominion of India with the intent that the Governor General of India, the Dominion Legislature, the Federal Court, and any other Dominion authority established for the purposes of the Dominion shall, by virtue of this my instrument of accession, but subject always to the terms thereof. Highly marked up. Subject always to the terms thereof, and for the purposes only of the Dominion, exercise in relation to the state of Jammu and Kashmir such functions as may be vested in them by or under the Government of India Act 1935, as in force in the Dominion of India on the 15th day of August 1947. Such functions that may be vested. I hereby assume the obligation of ensuring that due effect is given to the provisions of the Act within the state, so far as they are applicable therein by virtue of my instrument of accession. I accept the matters specified in the schedule hereto as the matters with respect to which the Dominion Legislature may make law for this state. I hereby declare that I accede to the Dominion of India on the assurance that if an agreement is made between the Governor General and the ruler of this state, whereby any functions in relation to the administration of this state of any law of the Dominion Legislature shall be exercised by the ruler of the state, that any such agreement shall be construed and have effect accordingly. In terms of this instrument of accession, my instrument of accession shall not be varied by any amendment of the Act or the Indian Independence Act 1947, unless such amendment is accepted by me by instruments supplementary to this instrument. Nothing in this instrument shall empower the Dominion Legislature to make any law for this state authorizing the compulsory acquisition of land for any purpose. But I hereby undertake that should the Dominion, for the purpose of a Dominion law, which applies in the state, deem it necessary to acquire any land, I will at their request acquire the land at their expense, or if the land belongs to me, transfer it to them on such terms as may be agreed, or in default of agreement determined by an arbitrator to be appointed by the Chief Justice of India. Nothing in this instrument shall be deemed to commit in any way to my acceptance of any future constitution of India, or to fetter my discretion to enter into an agreement with the Government of India under any such future constitution. Nothing in this instrument affects the continuance of my sovereignty in and over this state, or, save as provided by or under this instrument, the exercise of any powers, authority, and rights now enjoyed by me as a ruler of this state, or the validity of any law at present in force in this state. I hereby declare and I execute this instrument on behalf of the state, and that any reference to this instrument to me or to the ruler of the state is to be construed as including reference to my heirs and successors. And the acceptance your lordships will find at 11. I hereby accept this instrument of accession, dated this 27th day of October, 1947. Now, now there is a schedule to this accession, which is not in this document. But would my lords be kind enough to turn to document volume 4, PDF page 176. That has the schedule.
Volume 4 page?
Page 176, madam. PDF page 176. Running page 738, PDF page 176. Volume 4.
Running page 738.
7. Yes, 738. Yes, that's correct. That's correct. Your Lordships might just remember the residuary power, Maharaj, unlike states in India, which vested under 97 with the Union, vested in the state. Residuary power did not vest in the Union, in the relationship of J&K with the Union. So it was quintessentially a truly federal marriage, so to say.
Actually, the resolution when it was passed by the Constituent Assembly initially contemplated that the residuary power would be with the states.
Yes.
And it was between the time of that resolution and the eventual adoption of the Constitution that the residuary power,
Yes, I agree.
entry 97 came to the center.
But they all accepted it, Mullah, so that's. But here, Mullah, this issue was somewhat different. Now, Mullah, in the schedule will defense, naval, military, and air forces of the Dominion, and any other armed force raised or maintained by the Dominion, any armed forces, including forces raised or maintained by an exceeding state, which are attached to or operating with any of the armed forces of the Dominion, naval, military, and air force works, administration of cantonment areas, arms, firearms, ammunition, explosives, and external affairs, like implementing of treaties, agreements, other countries, extradition, including surrender of criminals, accused persons, or parts of His Majesty's dominions outside India, admission into and emigration and expulsion from India, including in relation thereto, the regulation of the movements in India of persons who are British subjects domiciled in India, or subjects of any exceeding state pilgrimages to places beyond India, naturalization, then communications, post and telegraphs, including telephones, wireless broadcasting, like phones and railways, etc. We need not go into this. Maritime shipping navigation, port quarantine, major ports. And then Mullah, aircraft, lighthouses, carriage of passengers, and then ancillary elections to the Dominion legislature subject to the provisions of the Act and of any order made thereunder. Offences against laws with respect to any of the aforesaid matters, inquiries and statistics for the purposes of any of the aforesaid matters, and jurisdiction and powers of all courts with respect to any of the aforesaid matters, but except with the consent of the ruler of the exceeding state, not so as to confer any jurisdiction or powers upon any courts other than courts ordinarily exercising in or in relation to the state. Right? So that's what...
These subjects, do they correspond specifically to certain entries on the Government of India Act?
No, Mullah,
Probably they would have.
The subject, no, but the subjects of the state were with reference to those residing in the state, those who had come to the state, those who were in Pakistan and came back. So that's a 1927 order, which I'll point to your lordship later.
Possibly the subjects which the instrument of accession
Yes,
recognizes in terms of the legislative powers of the Dominion
yes,
must cover certain specific entries in the Government of India Act. So
yes,
these subjects,
yes.
For instance, defense,
Yes,
1, 2,
we'll
3,
cover
4,
those entries, Mullah.
there would be certain specific entries in the Government of India Act with reference to which there was an acceptance.
Correct,
that-
Mullah. I will find that out and tell your lordships about which part of the Government of India Act covers these moves. I appreciate that. Then, Mullah, kindly go back. Come back to volume 1, Mullah. Yes. Then come to Mullah's reply from Lord Mountbatten to Maharaja Harrison. That's at page 12. Page 12, Mullah. My dear Maharaja Sahib, Your Highness's letter dated 26th October has been delivered to me by VP Menon. In the special circumstances mentioned by Your Highness, my government has decided to accept the accession of Kashmir state to the Dominion of India, consistently with their policy that in the case of any state where the issue of accession has been the subject of dispute, the question of accession should be decided in accordance with the wishes of the people of the state. It is my government's wish that as soon as law and order has been restored in Kashmir and a soil cleared of the invader, the question of the state's accession should be settled by reference to the people. Meanwhile, In response to Your Highness's appeal for military aid, action has been taken today to send troops of the Indian Army to Kashmir to help your own forces to defend your territory and to protect the lives, property, and honor of your people. My government and I note with satisfaction that Your Highness has decided to invite Sheikh Abdullah to form an interim government to work with you, with your Prime Minister. Then we go back to the list of
Sheikh Abdullah was not the Prime Minister.
PGA page 38, Malad.
38.
38. And Malad, I've already read to your lordships, Malad, the acceptance, the letter of Mountbatten. So Malad, we go to 23, 5th of March, 1948.
You want to go back to the list of dates and events?
Yes, Malad. We go back to the list of dates, PDF 38, volume 1.
What page are you reading, Mr. Sibal?
5th of March, Malad, that entry. Because I've already read, Malad, the 22nd of October letter of Lord Mountbatten. On the 5th of March, my Lord has that. Volume 1, PDF page 38. Well, 5th of March, 1948.
5th of March, 48.
Yeah, it's item 23. The ruler, your lordship has that? The ruler, Maharaja, I'm sorry.
1 minute, please.
Volume 2.
Volume 1, Maharaja. Same
No,
list of dates that I was reading.
Some cases it's volume 2, some.
Written submissions, compilation, volume 2. That's correct. That's correct.
Written submission.
Yes, yes. WS volume 2.
Serial number 28.
PDF 38, WS volume 2. Yes. 5th of March 1948, the ruler Maharaja Hari Singh issued a proclamation under which a popular interim government was established in the state of Jammu and Kashmir, pending the framing of a constitution for the state. The proclamation inter alia. Well, it is better we read the whole proclamation. This is at volume 6, PDF page 242. Right. That's 2, Malad, volume 6, PDF page 242. Running page is 1291. Yes, Maharaja on the 5th of March 1948. That's the one. I know this.
1291.
Running page 1291. That's correct. That's correct. Well, we have to show PDF, Malaz, otherwise it becomes difficult.
Yes.
In accordance with the tradition. Well, all of them correspond to the provisions of the government.